You are listening to Into Your Head, a listener-supported podcast. Please visit intoyourhead.com/tipjar.
It's time for Insert Client's Product Title here. The greatest podcast or media product or insert name of medium on insert name of client's planet. Billing reference 93424.
You join me at Instrument. Hello. Welcome to today's Into Your Head temporarily daily breakfast show. I do realise it's very childish of me to laugh at my bodily functions, but if you can't laugh and you can't cry, what the freaking hell are you supposed to do? You're supposed to just sit here listening to yourself spouting crap on the internet with nobody listening. Nobody except you and that other fella. That other fella listens too. It's not just you, you know. There's another fella listening to this too. In fact, there's at least 3 of you. Possibly 4 or more, possibly 50 or 60 in fact, sometimes more. Sometimes there's 8,563 people listening to this, if you count all of the time zones ever created and ever to be created. Then there's 8 billion people listening to this. It's absolutely fantastic. This is new media for you. It's the way to go. We're all sitting here in our bedrooms. Technically this isn't my bedroom. It was built as a bedroom. It's the spare bedroom. It's the box room, but it's not a bedroom. There's a fold-up bed there, but I think it's covered in cat piss. I wouldn't put a guest on that frigging thing. If you're ever coming to my house, don't worry. It's the other spare room you'll be put in. But no, I wouldn't put you in here anyway. This is my office. It's got all my confidential materials in here. It's also got coffee stains all over the floor, despite me mopping it a couple of weeks ago. Absolutely ridiculous. No matter how much I mop this frigging room, some frigging idiot comes in here to make a podcast and spills coffee all over it. Absolutely fucking ridiculous. There's more to life than drinking coffee, you know. Especially in the evening. You shouldn't drink coffee in the PM unless you want to stay up all night and do a night shift. And that's not a vulgar expression or something. By night shift, I mean doing a night work. For example, you might be working the night shift in the hospital. You might be going in at 10 p.m. at night and saying, hello, is there anybody here who's being inconsiderate enough to become ill in the middle of the night? If so, I'm here to assist, I suppose, if I have to. And then someone will say, but you're the janitor. How would you be able to assist? And you say, I may be just the janitor, but in fact I play a vital role in this hospital. If that light bulb over that premature child there goes out, I'll be there to replace it straight away so the child can just carry on reading and studying and becoming prematurely intelligent and getting a degree by the time they're 12 because they had a head start on everyone else. That's what I'd do if I was a premature baby. I get a head start. I get a head start on my studies. I'd become the next Doogie Howser. I don't mean become a child actor in a sitcom, in the 1980s sitcom. Because for one thing, it's a bit late for that. It's too late now to become a child actor in the 1980s sitcom. Unless, of course, you want to play a sitcom. You want to play in a 2010s sitcom about a 1980s sitcom, like the Larry Sanders Show, although he wasn't a child. No. But the Larry Sanders Show was a thing about a fella doing a chat show. It wasn't a real chat show, but he was pretending it was real. The character seemed to believe it was real. It was like some sort of virtual reality sitcom. The fella went in and he said, hello, here's my producer. It wasn't the producer at all. It was your man out with Men in Black. He played the producer. What's his name? Rip Torn. I had a conversation about him with myself a couple of weeks ago on the show, and Manny the Mailman commented about it. He said something, I can't remember what. I should look it up really, but I haven't got my hands free to go searching at the moment. I don't know how you go about searching for a comment on Facebook or wherever we post it. Suffice to say, my little talk about Rip Torn the other week inspired a comment from Manny the Mailman, and when you're a podcaster and you inspire a comment from Manny the Mailman, that's when you know you've made it, because Manny the Mailman is up there with the big time. Manny the Mailman went to see Your man from the 40-year-old boy, Mike Schmidt, live in concert last night. Absolutely. That's what Manny the Mailman does. He goes around, he attaches himself to podcasts, and the next day they make the big time. Mike Schmidt, nobody had heard of him until yesterday. Now he's world famous all over the place. He goes on Facebook every day and there's all campaigns. Bring Mike Schmidt to New York. Bring Mike Schmidt to Ireland. I'm a member of the big Bring Mike Schmidt to Ireland's Facebook group. He's not here yet. I haven't had any success in attracting him. Although, not in my defence. In my complete opposite, in my prosecution, I've done very little to help the cause. But I haven't. It's not like I've undone any of the good work that whoever started the group did. Anyway, we digress. Where was I? Stirring my coffee.
Hey everyone, Brian Jude here, and I'd like to talk to you about the film that I'm making, The Miracle Man. I had a campaign a while ago to raise some development funds, and I find myself needing some more funds for especially legal fees. If you've contributed before, thank you very much, and if you haven't, here's a chance to do so. Go to tinyurl.com/mmfund2. That's tinyurl.com/mmfund and the number 2. And you can check out the different perks that I have to offer there for your contributions. And if you have contributed before, feel free to contribute again, or in either case, please spread the word, especially if you know people who might be interested in funding this kind of thing. Really appreciate it, guys. Thanks and take care. Bye-bye.
Hello. You join me approximately 10 to 15 minutes later. Don't worry though, there's not going to be any break in continuity. I listened back to the end of the previous segment and I noticed that I was stirring my coffee at the end, or commenting on the fact that, I was going, where was I stirring my coffee? So I've made damn sure to hell as Christ that for continuity purposes, I start this segment by stirring my coffee, as I'm doing now. It needs a good stir. It's going cold. I'm hoping that the friction from the stirring will heat it up slight enough for me to guzzle it down without vomiting, which we'll try now before it gets any colder. Here we go. That's the coffee. That's the coffee dealt with. I see we've dealt with the rest of the Boost energy drink from yesterday as well. It's all gone down. It's gone down my gullet. Everything in the end ends up either going down your gullet or up somewhere else. I don't know. There's a limit to how many places you can put food. You can put it down your gullet, or you can put it in the bin. In which case, technically, it's not food at all. You're treating it as something other than food, so it's not food. It's not. Food doesn't become food until you treat it as food. If I see a head of lettuce growing wild in the garden somewhere, in a wild garden somewhere on a mountain, and I say, oh look, there's a nice head of lettuce. That doesn't make it food. It's not food until I pluck the lettuce and bring her home in a bowl and designate it as today's lunch, or part of today's lunch. Until then, it's just a bit of lettuce growing in the ground. The same with mushrooms, even more so with mushrooms, because they could be designated as something else entirely. Someone could come along and say, oh look, I designate this mushroom as a recreational drug, or they could say, oh look, I designate this mushroom as a food for today's curry. Or you could come along more appropriately and say, oh look, I designate this mushroom as a piece of crop that's lying in the ground that could have been walked on by any wild cat who's stepped in bird shit for the last 10 years. So I don't think I'm going to eat that. No amount of washing that could make me want to ingest it into my system, either as a piece of food or as a recreational drug. So instead, I'll just go down to the shop and get some food there, or go to the pharmacy and get some proper drugs there, by either prescription or over-the-counter medication, because I'm a law-abiding citizen. I don't go around plucking up wild mushrooms. In fact, I think I'll go and report this mushroom to the police. Because it could be, that could be a drug. drugs. There's a text from my wife. Muddy finally came in for breakfast. Absolutely fantastic. What's that? That's the previous text from last night. That's no longer valid. My wife's previous text become invalid after 10 hours or so. In fact, they need immediate attention, otherwise they become invalid. Because the progress of time knocks these things back. As the whole in-your-face media of today, everything is in the present. There's no more this, here's the news about everything that's happened in the last 24 hours since you last watched the news. No, it's here's what's happening now. Here's a photograph of something that's happening right now. It's a picture of someone reading the news on television. It's absolutely fantastic. Somebody is reading the news on television. That's our top headline at the moment. This just in, somebody on the news has commented on the fact that somebody is reading the news. Do they even read the news anymore? I don't think so. They just gaze into the camera and talk to people. They get guests on and say, hello, something is happening somewhere. Peter, can you tell me more? And Peter will say, yes, I can. I can tell you that I'm on the news talking to you about this and trying to find something to say. But apart from that, no, this is a breaking news story. As you can see from the captions, there's not that much to say yet. It's still breaking. We're waiting for it to break further until it disintegrates further into soggy mush. We won't be able to tell you more because something starts breaking doesn't mean if an egg starts breaking and you see a little bit of a beak poking out, you don't know for definite what's going to happen then. The rest of a chicken could emerge. Or the beak could just fall out and there'll be nothing else there, or it could turn out to be an alien. It's all very exciting. That's why people want to work in media. It's very exciting. It's absolutely fantastic. The media is one of the finest things known to man. You have MTV in it. You have the Cartoon Network. They show cartoons all day. They even have cartoons for people at night. Adults watch cartoons now. That's the new thing. You get up in the middle of the night and you say, I'm going to watch some frigging cartoons. I'm going to watch a cartoon about a fella swearing at another fella. And then I'm going to make damn sure the hell is Christ that whatever this channel shows in the day to my children isn't the same stuff that I'm watching on at night. So I'll get them to rebrand it. They'll call it nighttime stuff. Adult Swim or Children's Channel at night or something like that. That's what they usually do to distinguish it. They'll say, hello, although you are watching the cartoon channel, this is for your parents. There's going to be pornography and stuff on this. So we'll make the screen go blank for a minute and then we'll put on the adult stuff. In the meantime, if you're not an adult, please go to bed. For Christ's sake, go to bed. Here's a bedtime story. Let's do that as well, I understand. They do bedtime stories on these children's channels. At 5 to 7, they'll come on and say, hello, here's a bedtime story. We're going to read it to you. Once upon a time, let's do a bedtime story now. Sure, we might as well. If you're listening to this in the morning, save this up for last thing tonight. And have a nice day in the meantime. Here we go. Bedtime story. I just have to get into my bedtime mood here. Should I take a sleeping tablet? Probably not, because it's midday and I want to do more podcasting. And I don't have any anyway. I just have stuff. Anyway, sleep. Going to sleep story. Here we go. Pippi the cat sat patiently on his bed. Well, I say patiently. It's not like he was waiting for anything. He was just chillaxing. He wasn't we're not on a schedule here. Well, cats are on a schedule, but they're automated. Their schedules are run by instinct. They don't go around looking at a frigging notepad thinking, oh, what's next on my agenda? I have to go out and chase a bird. How do you chase a bird anyway unless you can fly? That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Although I'm not aware of this because I'm a cat. I think I can just catch birds. And that's why I do. Because as they say, you can if you think you can. These cats get into their heads that they're going to be able to catch a bird. And as a result, quite often they do. We get birds in here all the time, bitten to bits and chopped up, being eaten by cats. It's absolutely fantastic. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I need a piss.
There's still more to come on Into Your Head.
Hello, I'm back from my piss. Now I know what you're thinking there. You're thinking, why doesn't he record his pisses anymore? That's what you're thinking. If you're one of my long-term listeners who've been listening for the last 5 years, you're wondering, there was a time back in the glory days when he used to get up and he'd keep his headset clamped to his head and he'd go off and he'd do a urination session. He doesn't seem to do that anymore. Well, don't panic. There's more to life than recording yourself urinating, you know. It's not everything. It's not the be-all and end-all. I know you think just because if a tree falls in the wood and I'm not there to record myself urinating against it, it doesn't happen. Well, it's not true. You can do stuff without recording it, and it's still just as effective. My bladder is just as empty. It won't be empty for much longer because I've had 3 gigantic mugs of coffee, half a bottle of energy drink. So I have to make room for that. That's going to be making its way through to my bladder now. Gravity is drawing it down as I speak. And probably the vibration of my vocal cords here is probably helping it along. It's moving it along, moving things along. Is that a song? Was it that Al Pacino thing where he's the retired general or something who's blind and he goes, it's a good time for singing a song and it's a good time for moving along. Al Pacino sings that in that movie. It's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the finest. What's it called? That thing with Al Pacino where he's blind. Let's look it up because I don't want to leave you wondering. It's a bit mean when you say stuff like this and then you don't say what it relates to. Let's have a look here. I'll put down the microphone a second. Al Pacino. Oh. Al Pacino blind. Search. Scent of a Woman, that's what it was. 1982, Scent of a Woman, IMDb, with Al Pacino, Chris O'Donnell, James Rebhorn, Gabriel Anwar. A preschool student needing money agrees to babysit a blind man, but the job is not at ... That's all it says on Google. Google is always incomplete about these. People go on about Google like it's God. It's the king of the universe. They say it's the uncrowned king of the internet. They go on and say, if you're not on Google, you don't exist. You're like that tree in the forest. Well, I could go up to the Google headquarters there in America. I'll go up and have a piss against a tree in their front garden. Would they exist then? I can be sure as Christ they would. But would it make any difference to the situation? You can be sure to Christ as hell that it wouldn't. And I think that's a measure of a company's importance. What happens when someone pisses against a tree in their front garden? Oh, that said. One of the big banks in Dublin there that's in trouble at the moment is a big huge garden there in Ballsbridge. They're not Google, I can tell you. People think, if our company headquarters has a big front garden with trees and a giant lawn, that makes it look very important. Important to the downfall of civilization. That's what it was in the case of that bank. Banks are dragging us down into the dirt. They're dragging us down into the dregs. The next thing you know, there'll be bankers in the street. You won't be able to go out into the street without a banker coming up to you and saying, hello, give us a penny for my bank. I'm trying to save it. I know you don't want to because you hate us, but if you don't give me 10 cents now, or 10 cents for a cup of tea, then this bank is going to drag the rest of you down with it, and we're all going to die. My bank has AIDS. You need to give me money, or else you'll get AIDS. That's what they'll say, or something equivalent, except in economic talk, they'll find some clever way of phrasing it. They'll say, the swing on the upturn of the something means that you have to give me 10 cents now immediately. Please. They add the please there. It's part of their training. They're being taught. You have to say please to people. Say please. Don't overdo it, but say have a bit of fake manners. That's what they say. Because these, after all, are your customers. They're the people who pay your wages. Technically they don't, but we technically need them. They're our customers. We need their money. We also need their We need him to come in here and be blinded by our big fancy language. We'll say, hello, blah, 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 interest, blah, blah, charges, give me money. And they'll just hand over money. That's how banking works. It's the same as any other. In their defense, though, every other profession is like that too. If you go up to a doctor and say, hello, what do you think of this scratch on my leg here? And he'll say, I can't see it because you're wearing full-length trousers. I don't have x-ray vision. You see, he'll blind you, he'll say x-ray vision. It's a big fancy medical term. And you won't be able to answer that because you don't. The only thing you've heard about x-ray vision is being from watching science fiction films. So you're not in a position to comment on that. So you'll just have to agree with him and take it as read that he knows more about the subject than you, and then you'll go off. You'll still have the scratch on your leg, and you'll probably die of leprosy a couple of days later and then you'll be, I'll tell you, then you'll be wishing you'd gone to medical school then. But no, it's too late now. There's no Doogie Howser is going to save you now. You can't even become a child actor. Even if you could travel back in time and become a child actor and play Doogie Howser, that won't save you now from your leprosy. So that'll be a lesson to you.
You can help grow this free podcast. Follow Neal on Twitter, Facebook, and Google+. Retweet, like, or share his show announcements to your weird friends every now and then. For many more free ways you can help, visit intoyourhead.com/free.
Sit, Kofi, sit. Good cat.